Ave Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. A demonic who could not speak was brought to Jesus. And when the demon was driven out, the mute man spoke. The crowds were amazed and said, "Nothing like this has ever been seen in Israel." But the Pharisees said, "He drives out demons by the prince of demons." Jesus went around to all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom and curing every disease and illness. At the sight of the crowds, his heart was moved with pity for them, because they were troubled and abandoned, like sheep without a shepherd. Then he said to his disciples, "The harvest is abundant, but the laborers are few. So ask the harvest master to send out laborers for his harvest." The Gospel of the Lord. Steadfast is the word that describes Maria Goretti in the opening prayer of the Mass this morning. Maria Goretti, who was stabbed to death while resisting a rapist, unwilling to compromise her virginity, stabbed 14 times and did not die immediately, suffered in an agonizing fashion, and forgave her assailant and told him so. After her assailant, Alessandro, was released from prison, he went to reconcile with Maria's mother. He later would enter a monastery and be devoted to a saintly life of prayer. And he was present with Maria's mother at her canonization. In her steadfastness, she not only did not compromise her integrity and her virtue, but she also saved a soul. Can you imagine that kind of determination? Striving in the midst of adversity, but with the grace of God. You can't do this kind of stuff on your own. Only with the grace of God. And it leads to conversions. In our first reading, not a similar steadfastness, but yet a kind of a steadfastness. I will not let you go until you bless me. Jacob is not going to be going without a blessing. He'll do anything he can to get a blessing. Should we be doing the same? And he wrestles with an angel to get a blessing. He won't let go. He's told, "You shall be no longer spoken of as Jacob, but now you are Israel." He has a new name, because he has contended with the divine and the human beings and has prevailed. It's only with the grace of God that this type of victory can be won. In the gospel, Jesus says he's looking for harvesters, laborers for the vineyard, and this is what he's looking for in his employees, you could say, in his harvesters, to be relentlessly about and steadfast in Christ. There's another echo of this in the background. In cycle 2 of the reading, you have Hosea. This guy will not give up on his wife no matter how unfaithful she is. She is totally unfaithful. And he just keeps going after her again and again and again. And he becomes a mirror or an icon of God's incessant fidelity toward us. He never stops chasing after us. This is where Jesus is calling us to be if we want to be really serious about the gospel, to be so steadfast and so persistent in our virtue and in our holiness. Let's stand in prayer.
Regina Celi, letare, alleluia, qui atque meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia, ora pro nobis Deum, alleluia.